I'm back. Did you miss me? Hello, everybody. My name is Jacob, and welcome to the Epileptic Gamer Podcast. It is about damn time. So today we are going to jump right into it. We've all watched the show, The Last of Us. What a hit. What a ride. And if you haven't watched it, I would suggest watching it. It is extremely good. Now, we're not here to talk about a TV show. We are here to talk about The Last of Us Part 3. And I know what you're thinking. The game hasn't been announced. But Naughty Dog is, however, working on a game. And it is strongly being implied that Part 3 is the game it's working on. And granted, it could be a new IP, and I wouldn't be mad at that. However, there are a lot of plot threads that could be tangled up, and I don't think it needs to be left on a cliffhanger. Now, I have 3 scenarios, and I want you guys to hear me out on this, because each one of them I feel would be incredible, because I just feel like playing each scenario, at least in my mind, would be a fun gameplay experience. So let's jump into the first one. I like to call it the unlikely allies scenario. And it's exactly what it sounds like. Somehow, Abby and Ellie have to team up. I feel like with Abby being alive at the end of part 2, they will have to have her come in for the third game. And I know a lot of people out there do not like Abby. However, I think she is one great character, and she needs to be explored more. And I think with her knowing what Joel has gone through, and yes, her even killing Joel, granted, I feel like her and Ellie having to team up would create the most unlikely duo and a lot of tense scenes that even if you're separated, it would give you that feeling of, is she coming back for me? Is she gonna turn my back on me at whatever moment? There's a lot of angles that they can go with it because these two hate each other. They don't want to see each other. The last time they fought, Abby took off one of Ellie's fingers. It is bad blood personified. And if you have to make those two team up, shit will hit the fan fast, and that's why I have a feeling it would be such fun gameplay scenario. And if you guys don't like that, that's fine. You can let me know if you don't. However, I think it would be good. I feel like it would be one of those things where you need to take a risk. This is part 3. But probably as a trilogy. Let's call it a spade a spade. Part 3 is the finale. We need to know what happens to Abby. The last we see her, she was on a boat driving away. Now, that's the first scenario. The second scenario, I'm not too sold on, but I like to call Jackson infected. Hear me out, because this is a reach. Say somehow Tommy got infected on the way back. That's why he'd be injured. Or somehow, someway, Jackson falls. Tommy has to find a way to get out. So does Ellie. So does Dina. And somehow, someway, they're gonna have to find a way to survive. Maria's gonna have to find a way to survive. Dina and her kid are gonna have to find a way to survive. which also can tie out the Dina and Ellie scenario. There's a big popular theory out there that yes, Dina did reconcile with Ellie, which is why you see her wearing her necklace. So, I'm not too sold on that one. I have a feeling Jackson's gonna stay. But I'm bringing it up because I feel like it's worth mentioning, or I feel like they could have a threat of it. Maybe someone's infected, or even if Jackson finds out about Ellie's condition, about her being immune, I feel like that could cause a bit of a panic. I mean, after all, the only people that knew were Dina, Maria, Tommy, and Joel. So, it's going to be a big question on how well Ellie's scenario and her little condition is going to come into play. And I did think of a fourth one, so I'm going to include that one for my last one. But the next one is, well, I like to call it Ellie's lie. We don't see Ellie tell Tommy what happened. I feel like history has to repeat itself. Ellie has to know why Joel did what he did and why he kept the truth from Ellie for so long when they came to the hospital. I think part 3 has to kick off with Tommy going right to Ellie, a beeline to her, and straight up saying, "Is she dead? Is the person that killed my brother dead?" And I think Ellie has to say yes. Despite her not finishing the job and her letting her go, I think Ellie has to protect Tommy from himself, and you have to take a look at that feeling of, this is why Joel did it. You gotta save people from themselves. And it will definitely give Ellie that interesting dynamic, because now she can be mad at Joel still. That is not something I'm taking away from her. What I am giving her, in my opinion, is the perspective that Joel was going on and why he did what he did. And I am a firm believer that Joel made the right choice. That is a popular opinion. I know I am the minority of people that say that, oh, he shouldn't have done it. It should have been Ellie's choice. I feel like he did the right thing. Now, whether or not Tommy will act on that and try to find out, I feel like he has to. I feel like either it's in the DLC or not, and at the end of the game, Tommy needs to find out the truth, just like Ellie did. And there needs to be consequences. Whether or not it includes Dina and their kid and Ellie getting kicked out of Jackson, something along those lines. Abby has to go to Ellie for help, and unfortunately it caused them to go to Jackson. You compare that with the unlikely duo scenario. No matter what, I feel like if you want to make a compelling game for The Last of Us Part 3, Ellie lying has to be at number 1, because history always repeats itself. And I feel like if you have Ellie tell the lie that Joel had to tell Ellie, it would absolutely give her that feeling of, I see why he did it. I didn't want to do it. Just like Joel didn't want to do it. But I see why he did. He wanted to save me from myself. Because it's called spade a spade. I know I said it a lot. But if he were to tell Ellie the truth, she would have made Joel turn back. And she would have had that operation done in a heartbeat. Ellie is that type of person. That's why she didn't want anything to do with him afterwards. However, We all know how that turned out. He had a lie. And they had a life in Jackson for 4 years until Ellie turned her back on Joel. And rightfully so. And the fourth one is Ellie needs to have everything come full circle. It cannot be for nothing. I think that is the least most popular opinion, that Ellie needs to go into surgery at the end of the game, and the game cuts to black in the credits. You don't know what happened to her during the procedure. You don't know if she lived. You don't know if she died. All we know for sure is that she went into the procedure. She tried to get it to work. And if it did, did it? I don't know. That's why I like that idea of it can't be for nothing. And Ellie's journey, let's just call a spade. She's a tragic character. She's a great character and probably going to be one of the PlayStation's mascots for years to come. But she is also a tragic character. So, that's it for the comeback episode. What did you guys think of my few scenarios? I like to think Ellie's Lie would make one hell of a game because of all the repercussions that it could cause in the future. Especially with Dina probably going to be coming back in the third. But as always, I would love for you guys to hear it. You can follow me on Twitter at BigJake423. I will see you all in the next episode. Which, yes, I promise you this time, there is going to be a next episode. You guys have a great weekend and a great week, and hell, even a great year. I'll see you next time.